The following content is brought to you by MYND Initiative Incorporated. The opinions expressed in the following conversation are of the hosts and do not in any way represent the opinions of MYND Initiative as a whole. Some themes in this series may be distressing or triggering for some listeners, and so viewer discretion is advised. If any of the content does trigger uncomfortable feelings or cause distress, we encourage you to reach out to us via our Facebook page or seek further support from beyondblue.org or contact Lifeline on 13 14 11 for 24/7 over-the-phone support. We would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we all stand, and we extend our respect to the elders, both past and present.
Hi everyone, my name's Jason and this is my friend Pajan, and we have a show called Does It Mess With Your Mind, where we talk about mental health issues and the stigma behind mental health, and we give book reviews and we just talk about lifestyle and everything else that may impact your mental health. Good evening. Tonight on Does It Mess With Your Minds, we go and talk about part 2 in relationships, and we're going to talk about the concept of feeling connected with my co-host tonight, Pajan. Pajan, how are you tonight?
Hello there, I'm doing fantastic. I'm like super excited for this chapter, feeling connected. Let's get started, Jason.
Oh, awesome. So I'm going to start off with an article from Leanne Beagley. She has a PhD and she's actually the Chief Executive Officer at Mental Health Australia. I found this article this week on LinkedIn, and I asked her if I could use a bit of a quote from her article to start us off. So I'm just going to read you this little expert and we'll go off from there. So we know that loneliness and social disconnection are a hidden health factor. More Australians than ever before report experiencing loneliness as a symptom of a more disconnected society and compounded by pandemic restrictions. We also know that good health is not just the absence of disease. Getting out in the community, meeting people, exercising, and finding a sense of belonging can transform someone's health and a sense of well-being. The pandemic has not only highlighted the sense of loneliness, but exacerbated it in the most vulnerable of our population. Social participation is important for everyone's mental health and well-being, as well as supporting recovery for people's experience of mental ill health. So that last sentence for you, social participation is important for everyone's mental health and well-being. Is that true or false? Why?
I would say it's absolutely true, man. Not necessarily because of our evolution, but because of, technically because of the way we evolved. Because we started out as hunters and gatherers, we slowly moved into being agricultural society and started forming communities and tribes, and the rest of the history. So that DNA, that conditioning, that programming, if you permit that word, has been ingrained like so hard in our culture and our tradition, and in everything that we do. We are trained, we are taught from a young age that we need to connect with every people, that we need to belong to a tribe, that we need to make friends, that we need to find people who we connect to. And basically based on that training or teachings or whatever you say, conditioning of the societal conditioning, whatever word you use, based on that, we have learned that we need to connect with other people. But I would like to digress away from that point and say that, frankly, we do not need to connect with everyone. Yes, we would love to connect with everyone, but we can't. It is like technically impossible to connect with every single human in the world, because the way we see the world, it varies from person to person. The way I see the world, it's different from the way you see the world. And even though we use the same language, the same words, the deeper meaning behind those words, the abstractions behind those words, that's like completely different. Yeah, to answer the question now, it is important that we need to feel socially connected and belong. We need to feel the need to belong to the community, but that is something that we have learned through years of social conditioning rather than something that's inherent within us.
I'm glad you mentioned social conditioning because that leads right into my second question. How do you feel about how advertising and media portrays social connection? Do you think that we advertise a false sense of what being connected is to others?
That's a fantastic question. And the short answer is yes. Just have a look at like TikTok or Instagram or Facebook and just look at the list of people and because all you see is like photos and videos of people having fun, going on adventures, doing things that we would love to do.
Yeah,
The moment I open up Instagram, I just see people like going on trips and like, and when I see those photos and videos, I'm like, damn, they're enjoying their life. What am I doing with my life? I can't even go on a trip. So this is, but however, there's a different reality behind that, those photos and videos. It's like,
it's in
I'm
the
not going to
comment
dive,
section.
yeah, yeah, but I'm not going to dive deeper into the reality behind it because every one of us knows what those photos and videos mean. Or when we post those photos and videos, there's a certain kind of thought like this is something that I need to maintain to show that I'm happy with my life. But in reality, are we really happy with our life? Are we like really feeling connected with the world? Are we like really feeling, give us the butterflies and the paradise and rainbows and unicorns and the happy things, but it fails to show the abject reality behind those photos and videos. The fact of the matter is, even if social media has made connecting with other people, meeting other people like much easier, communicating with other people much easier, it has also like taken away that semblance of connectedness that we feel, that semblance of closeness that we feel with other people. It has like basically desecrated what connection actually means, what social connection and a close bond actually means. Because I can guarantee you that someone you have not met in real life and someone that you have met in real life, put them on two sides. Someone that you have met in real life will have a much closer value. You will feel more connected with them than someone that you have met on social media and never met in your life. Um, um, a month ago I started my new job, and I started my new job at the new office, and before that I used to work from home, away from each other. I had not met any one of them, and yeah, and joking with them, having fun with them, and just being sarcastic with them, it just felt really weird because though we work together, even though we make like minor jokes on Zoom, we just could not go all out and like show our full color and full personality to them. But it's been a month since I've been working in an office environment with all the people together in the same building, and the difference has been like massive. We joke, we like tease each other, the sarcasm, this fun, there's like a different sense of connection that being online, socially connected on social media just cannot provide. So to answer your question again, just getting back to the circle, social media, advertising, marketing, they do not portray the truest sense of what social connection is. They just show us the bright side rather than showing the overall picture.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying there. They kind of like they've cherry picked what the best part of social connection is. I mean, I'm not talking about Facebook or anything. For me, the mental picture is like the typical Coca-Cola ad where everyone is at a party, popping a Coke can and everything else. Like everyone is like awesome, having a great time and stuff. But they never show you when the party's over and you've got to go back to like real life. And real life is where you need real connections. You need real friends to help you through real days. You know, when you're getting towards the end of the pay cycle and you don't have much money, you still need someone to talk to and hang out and watch Netflix with and everything else. So they're real connections. And I think in my little thing here, where you go through self and friends and loved ones and community and everything else, part of being connected is having that good self-talk that you're a good person, and you know, on your bad days you're still a good person, everyone still wants to be your friend. You've got to have that good inner monologue to understand, hey, things didn't go well for me today, or I'm not feeling great, but people still value me, so I've got to work on that.
Yeah, exactly. Like the only thing that I believe matters is your self-talk. This is a quote, the world is what you believe it to be. That's it. The way you talk to yourself is the way that you're going to project into the world. Are you like, because if you're like constantly lying to yourself, faking yourself, because you know what the reality is, you know what you actually want, you know what you actually believe, but do you project that those same beliefs and reality to the world? Most of the people, I would say, they don't. They just try to fit in the society. They want to like fit in into a certain model of tribe or culture. They just want to like fit in with other people. They just want to make like casual jokes and talk about the weather, talk about the latest events in the world, talk about sports and movies and TV shows they watch. But they always, and maybe I'm generalizing here, but I come from my own experience, so let me say that they always avoid the things that truly matter to them. I mean, nobody in the world is like so shallow to only think about uh, owning a mansion or buying Gucci bags of Versace or Louis Vuitton or talking about weather or sports. No, nobody is that shallow. Everybody has depth within them. But are we able to project that depth into the world? That's the thing. And what determines that depth? It's the self-talk that's going on within us. And unless that self-talk changes, I do not think so shy that people are going to be able to connect heart to heart, because the internal turmoils and the thoughts and the belief system and the reality and the perception that we have is what makes us us. And unless we share that, the things that make us who we are not going to be able to connect with other people. We may click on some like common interests, maybe like some books or maybe some sports or maybe some activity. But what after that? After you're done finished discussing the book, after you're done discussing the TV shows, after you're done with the activities, what after that? There's nothing to talk about. There's no depth in there. And that, I believe, leaves the society and the entire community and ourselves in a very sorry state.
That's the opportunity to find something new, the opportunity to do something new. I think what you're touching on there is the feeling or the stress or the nervousness to always want to talk. And I guess the next thing I was going to ask you about is like when you're trying to make a new friendship or develop a new relationship or something like that, should it be stressful?
Ooh, that's a loaded question, actually. Because here's the thing. Friendships and new relationships, they don't need to be loaded. But going back to the social conditioning again, we're like so socially conditioned. We're like full of prejudices and biases and presumptions and a lot of assumptions that if I do this, this could happen. If I say that, something else could happen. We're like so worried about what could happen, how the other person might react, that we're afraid of expressing ourselves. We live in a constant state of fear, man. We live in a constant state of fear that I do not want a piece of that person now. What is the safest way to talk to that person? And the moment you go safe, you've like messed it up, man. Real connections do not happen where things are safe. Real connections happen when like things go truly gnarly and difficult and like really hard to navigate through. And if you can like get real, talk about what matters to you, and talk about the things that matter to you, that creates the very solid foundation for your future friendship or relationship. But if you connect solely based on the sports team you support, or the movies that you love, or the genres of books that you like, it is definitely going to be a very limited relationship where the only topics of conversation could be those topics. But however, there's a catch though. If those topics, the books that you read, the shows that you watch, if they're like really close to your heart, then that's when the relationship can form. So yeah, just talk from your heart. Just say what your heart wants to say. Do not filter yourself. Just don't. Finding people who truly love you, who want you, who are attracted to you for who you are, not who you pretend to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's a lot of pressure for us to constantly pretend who we are not. It takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of time thinking about like, okay, this person thinks this way about me, so I have to be this way, but I'm actually this.
But
It's
yeah,
just
I know what you're saying there. I guess the only thing that I want to chime in there is you don't have to be right about it. Like, it is your opinion. But because if someone disagrees with you, that doesn't mean that you're wrong. And it doesn't mean that you get to treat them like they're wrong. Just treat it as it is. And just say, hey, thanks for giving me your opinion. You know, I have mine. Let's respectfully disagree.
yeah.
And not wreck our relationship from it.
Yeah, it's just let's agree to disagree, man. Let's agree to disagree. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no need to like force some pleasantries in the relationship, because when you truly connect from heart to heart, the pleasantries, all of these social norms, they just fly out of the window and they just come naturally from within you, and you don't feel forced to be pleasant to someone. Because just imagine, man, just imagine some there's someone that you absolutely do not like. Like every time you meet them, it's a chore to just be pleasant to them. Just imagine the amount of energy and effort that you waste on maintaining that persona, maintaining that mask. It's just a complete waste of time. So I'd rather say that just, yeah, I mean, it's very cliche, but just be who you are, say what you are. And the one way to go about doing that is to like stop lying to yourself. Yeah, what is your thought on that? Like lying to ourselves. Like, what do you think about that, Jason?
I think negative talk will definitely set you up for a difficult path. I think always kind of rephrase things to be an opportunity. Say you went to work and everyone's wearing blue shirts and you're wearing a green shirt. Use it as an opportunity to make jokes about, what's the deal with this dude with the green shirt or something today. So like something like that, make people laugh and get that connection. And something happened where you're wearing a different shirt. It's an opportunity to probably put yourself out there and see who does come back, because you're going from this disconnected signal over here, up there, into that connected. And the first part of that connection is being true to yourself.
Exactly. And the moment you said like there's a bunch of people in blue shirts and there's only you in green shirt, the first thing that came to my mind, hey man, I'm unique, I'm different, man. Look at me, I'm different. And maybe there is someone in the group who loves green shirt. Yeah, that's the people that you talk to. That's the people that you connect with, man. You do not need to connect with every single person that you meet in the world. Even if you work with them, just remain professional, like do the thing that you need to do at work. But you do not need to force a relationship out of anywhere. And frankly, I do not believe one can force a relationship. It's like relationship is a two-way street. It cannot like just go from this direction and the other person going further and further away. It has to be like both, all the parties involved that wanting to come together. Now, what happens if we really want to connect with that person, but the other person doesn't want to connect? Well, that's a bummer, man, because we can't force someone to do something. Even if we can manipulate them or persuade them to do what we want for a certain time, they will feel exhausted, they will lose energy, and they will like get a negative vibe every time we do that. So so just be you, man. If you're different, be different and be proud of it, man. There's no point in um feeling bad about being different. If you are in a group of 6 and 5 people are wearing blue shirt and you are the only one wearing green shirt, be the different guy, man. Just embrace yourself and make jokes about yourself. And yeah, and you should be able to like laugh at yourself. You should be able to make a joke about yourself and be comfortable that you are the butt of joke. And I do not think many people can do that.
And say, make positive jokes about it because you want to affirm that being in a green shirt is okay. Because the next day there might be 3 of you in green shirts. You may have just inadvertently given people that are wearing blue shirts permission to wear green shirts. And they may feel better and they may feel more confident wearing green shirts. They're going to join you in the green shirt brigade. It's important.
Exactly.
They get confidence in themselves through you.
Exactly. And yeah, and I think that is like the biggest feeling that we can give other people, the feeling of confidence, that the permission, the willingness to do something different. And if you be the oddball out, and if there's someone else who wants to be the same oddball, bam, you are the one, you're the reason that they had the courage to pursue what they want to do what they wanted to do. And that in itself creates like a very solid foundation for a future relationship with that person, for a future friendship with that person. And it's all about expressing yourself like fully to the world and letting the people come to you. Here's an analogy that I have recently started using. You are a flower, and all the people in the world, they're butterflies. There are some butterflies who are going to love you as a flower. They're going to come to you. And then there are certain butterflies who are going to hate that flower and they're never going to come to you. That's completely fine. All you have to do as a flower is just keep spreading your aroma. Just keep on expressing yourself, and you will eventually inadvertently continue to attract people who like that kind of flower. You're just a flower, man. Just let the butterflies come, let other people come to you. But having said that, you do not need to like stay stationary and do nothing and just as you, and they're gonna come to me. Nah, that's not the way to go. It's like you have to express yourself. You have to like give out that aroma. You have to like show yourself. You have to be willing.
You have to bloom.
Exactly. You have to bloom. You have to show up as yourself. You have to like let the other people know what your aroma is. You have to bloom.
Well, I'm going to put out a question to our audience as we're winding up for the night now. How do you think Poojan and I get along in being connected? Do you think that we feel confident in ourselves? Do you think that we've hit the friendship stage? I mean, we spend an hour together once a week. Do you think like we have been acting like we've been friends forever? I would like to hear your comments and any other comments you've got about the show tonight, but I would be very interested. Poojan, it's been a fantastic talk tonight. Part 3 next week, where we might actually talk about the loved one and communities part of being connected in relationships. What do you think?
Oh yes, definitely. I'm just shocked that that time flew by like really fast because I was like absolutely enjoying this talk, man.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm like super excited for the next week for the next part. So yeah.
That's excellent. So I want to give my thanks tonight. Thanks to Christine for looking after us and being a great chief executive officer, no, chief operating officer. Will for producing our content, putting it up on YouTube for us. And I also want to give out a shout out tonight to our fearless leader, Nadi. He helps run the MYND organization and he does a really good job at it. And he gives us lots of content to talk to. But John, thank you very much for tonight. As ever, if anything has been said tonight that makes you feel uncomfortable or feel like you need to reach out and get help, reach out and get help. Put that power of self into you and do what you need to do to get happy. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. See you next week.